Sports Show's on the air. Mike Max, Patrick Royce, Lou Nanne, and Sid Hartman. Sydney, obviously the Vikings playing as we speak. Pretty good football game going on at the Dome, but the Gophers beat Nebraska. Your thoughts?
Well, it was a good win, but they're very fortunate that last week Nebraska lost their best offensive lineman, and he was the guy who was supposed to block Mr. Hageman. Mr. Hageman had a picnic yesterday. Defensively, they haven't been very good, but a win's a win when you beat they needed a big-time win, and this gave them the big-time win. I thought Nelson played great. I thought the offensive line for the first time, Northwestern, they played good, but yesterday they played great. It was a win unexpected. Anybody who says they thought they're going to win is crazy. I thought the fact, I said this on the show, the fact that they're giving them 450 yards a game, it'll be a shootout, and they had a chance.
Yeah, well, you were the one that thought the Gophers had a chance.
No.
You talked to him before the game, didn't you, to Sid?
Yeah, Sid.
Wasn't that what he said to you?
No, Sid didn't think they'd win. Like he said, not many people thought they'd win. But it was a great win, though, and I have to say, the defense has played pretty well this year. They've had some good games. Michigan ran it up a little in the fourth quarter, but overall, the defense is better than it's been.
Yeah, Northwestern, they did.
And everybody loses good players. So we can't say just because Nebraska lost one player, you know, every team does that. So it was a great effort by the Gophers. And I thought they were going to get blown out after the first two times Nebraska had the ball, and then they just shut it right down.
10-0.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I've seen this act before. Patrick?
I thought the defense was terrific. I mean, Abdullah is one of the best running backs in the country.
He's
fabulous. But the rest, Taylor Martinez is like your own secret weapon. He's a right-handed Tebow when it comes to throwing the ball. He's a joke. But they just gashed him defensively, and Matt Limegrover was the genius of the day. Some of the stuff he said they intently watched the Wisconsin game last year in the Big Ten title game when Wisconsin scored 70 points on them, and they've realized people try to attack him in the middle. They attacked him on the edges and then gouged him in the middle, and they took some of Wisconsin's stuff, and they had that Nebraska defense running around. No, just running around like farm chickens with their heads cut off.
They couldn't account for the tight end, and they couldn't account for that matchup.
They couldn't account for the receiver on the little inside handoff.
But that Goodger. About 3 times they hit him, and they got the matchup they wanted, and they couldn't account for it.
I thought that was a coach's victory. They did a fantastic job. I thought it was great, except they drove me crazy. And late was the fourth quarter.
When they threw 3 straight passes, you were not happy.
You and I were sitting there, and all of a sudden, why are you throwing the ball?
You got 2 kids from Minnesota, Fruchty and Engel, and they aren't there for their speed. Why don't they catch the ball? And then Max Williams dropped one, too.
Yeah, we had 3 drops, but just remember how many guys that the Gophers put down on the ground there. How many times he had to come out for injury.
5, I think.
Yeah, right. The Gophers hit him hard. The Gophers were physical. They were really, they mashed them yesterday.
Well, we all remember the Nebraska teams of the late 60s, early 70s, when I don't think there was real serious steroid testing going on. And they had these monsters. Look at the middle of that defensive line. They had like 280-pound nose tackle.
This is what Gopher coaches will tell you, and they said going in, they said they had Ndakagan Sue or whatever his name is, right?
Still.
And so they played one defense when he was there, and it worked really well because he was so good. But they're still trying to run the same defense, and they don't have anybody that can make up for their mistakes in the middle.
Still, they lost only 1 game to UCLA.
Yeah.
And he was leading that game 21-3.
They gave up 600 and some yards to Wyoming.
Yeah.
They gave up 36 first downs to Wyoming.
Yeah.
They were lucky to beat Wyoming. This is a bad Nebraska defense. Now they held Purdue to 7 points, which tells you how bad Purdue is.
Yeah. So tell me, Louis, what does this do for the program, big picture?
Well,
or does it only matter
what
they do with Indiana?
Yeah, because you got an opportunity to win 2 more games, Indiana and Penn State for sure. They have a chance, although Indiana's played some good football. But if they win 2 more, you got a Florida Bowl, so you can drive over.
And the good news is...
You and Sid both.
The good news is Indiana can beat you 50-40, but they can't beat you 21-17. So, go run the ball against them.
If you can slow them down a little bit.
Keep the ball out of their hands.
Pat's
and hold
got
the ball.
a son down in Florida. Sid's got a place in Florida. We'll have to do the show from
right.
Florida.
Yeah, you have a great party down there.
I'll say this. I'll never forget Mason beat Ohio State.
Here comes the pessimist in it now.
Big win. And the next week is Indiana.
Antoine Randall.
And Mr. Knight is still basketball coach at
Indiana.
And he says, I'll make you a bet they lose the game today if this one kid has a big day. What was that great kid?
Antoine Randall.
Yeah.
Yes.
He said, if Antoine has a big day, they're going to win. And they did.
And I'll make you a bet you didn't pay.
I got a worse Indiana for you. 1977, Cal Stoll beats Michigan 16-0. Number 1 rated Michigan, 16-0. The next week they go down to Indiana and lose 34-22.
That's what happened the week after that Michigan game?
Yes.
Wow. Well,
Just
Louis, we haven't had you for a couple weeks, though. What do you make? Jerry Kill's up in the box, and this whole thing, has it brought them closer together? The team, what do you think?
Well, remember when we talked about the football coach more so than any other sports, like a CEO. He's got people in place, and he's almost like a puppet master. He orchestrates, and that's what Kill's doing, and Clay's is doing a great job. The whole coaching staff is. And it's fun to see, and the kids believe in it, and they're committed to it. And when you got passionate kids, a lot of good things can happen, and that's what they are right now, a passionate group of youngsters that are really committed to winning.
I talked to a couple of kids after the game, after I was walking out. They said, we couldn't fail Coach Kill. He says, everybody played over their head. We didn't want Mr. Kill to have another seizure.
Why would he? He was up in the press box.
I'm just saying. This
What
has
were they
something
going
to
to
do with
say?
it.
We don't give a damn about him. We're doing it for ourselves? I mean, what the hell?
Well, I think this is something extra. They love the guy.
Well, it's going to be interesting the rest of the way, because this is an unexpected October. After that Michigan game, when he doesn't show the coach, and they run up 42, and you go, are they ever going to...
Yeah, but that Michigan game really wasn't a 42.
You're right, Louis,
I'm
but
telling
on
you.
that day, it looked like with him being gone, and you're going, who are they going to beat in the Big Ten? It looked like they could go 0-4 in the Big Ten at that
You're right.
time.
I agree with that.
Take a break, come back, Sports Show.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Call 1-866-CAMBRIA. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Bar Abilene at Lagoon and Fremont in uptown Minneapolis. And Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.
There it is. Stop on by, see Pat and the crew at J.D. Hoyt's on Washington.
I stopped on by last night, and I'll tell you, Hoyts appreciated having 10,000 Nebraska
Did
fans
they?
in town. Friday night it was hopping, and last night it was hopping with Green Bay fans and a few leftover Gopher fans. But can you think of a better weekend for the restaurant business in Minneapolis? You got
Those two
Nebraska
travelers.
here on Friday. They had 10,000 people in the stadium.
At least.
Yeah, at least. And then...
Good thing we didn't have prohibition.
And then Green Bay last night. By the way, I went out the parking lot and talked to some Nebraska fans. I said, how do you get tickets? And they said, gophersports.com.
Is that right? You just went on the website. Huh?
This week at Tuesday, one of them was still getting tickets.
Louis, this is the whole fallacy of the stadium thing. There was so much red in there yesterday. As I'm walking up to the stadium, I heard them cheering. And
People still have a price for a ticket.
Here's the thing. Yesterday was a bigger day for the local bars because these guys go to the game in a bus. When they get back to the bus, if Minnesota wins, they're back in that bar. If they lose, goodbye.
That's
and
right.
yesterday, you can bet
Well,
They were loaded.
Well, you already had, like you said, Nebraska people in, you had Green Bay people in, you, and you have happy Gopher fans. Bars
the
did
Hoyts
pretty
was
well.
hopping last night.
And that's kind of a Gopher hangout.
My wife
too.
and I had an hour and 15 minutes to eat because our table, there were 6 people coming to our 2-man table. We had
They
to
were
eat.
waiting,
Well,
huh?
they know you don't drink anymore,
Yeah,
too.
right,
They had to
they-
get you out of there.
They want you out of there, man. You done, go.
Somebody in here who spends money.
Yeah. So, Sydney, what do you think this does for the program long term?
Well, I think it helps a lot. I think the jury's out on how this kill thing's going to
Play out?
react. There's no doubt in my mind that every Big Ten coach is going in these homes and saying, well, Jerry Kill is the most wonderful guy in the world, but you want to make sure who you're going to play for? You don't know if he's going to coach. We hope he comes up back. We hope he's healing. In fact, he is healing. If he's okay, maybe he ought to go there. But there's no assurance that it'll be okay.
What do you think, Louis?
I think what it means is a kid like Jeff Jones might stick with it instead of going to Florida State.
He's the Washburn running back that's done so well.
I mean, if you get a kid like that, he commits early, but, now he's got Florida State coming to him.
I don't think everybody's
That kid's looking
gonna do
for
it like
this.
No.
Sid. I don't think that all the coaches would use that. There's always going to be one or
We
two.
already decommitted.
Who's
Go
that?
ahead, Louis. Finish your. So the health issue's an issue, but
It's an issue, but I don't think they're going to play because Kill can play the same card on the other guys. If they're real successful, they're going to leave their
Plus,
job too.
I think
Why did he
these
commit?
guys are kind of like Mason. They're going to try to win with 2 stars and 3 stars and block you.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
This was the first time yesterday we saw the Northern Illinois offense. It was the first time we saw it with a few wrinkles and pound them, go wide on them. It was the first time they turned it loose that they felt like they could do stuff. And that, this was the Northern Illinois offense that got Tim Brewster fired when they came in here in 2010 and ripped them up by.
a lot of that
I think more than
that was just off tackle.
I think-
No, but a lot of that was here, and then boom, go around.
But I
You're
think
right.
more than that, you've
That's
seen
exactly.
kids that are really developing physically. I think you're seeing the work that these coaches and strength coaches put into these kids, and the kids put into the effort that they have to lift weights, get stronger, and get bigger because they are getting. They're a physical team. They block and tackle and hit.
I would worry about Nebraska hiring a Gopher strength coach.
That's what I'm
because
saying,
They,
yeah.
they need one. They
Yeah.
need a new one. Man alive.
Timberwolves start this week.
Yeah, I think it'll be a very interesting season. I think they'll have a very good team. I think they'll compete well if they stay healthy.
Okay.
If
obviously.
Rubio stays healthy, Love stays healthy.
Well, obviously.
Huh?
Obviously.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You asked me how I think they're going to do. I think they'll do well if they stay healthy.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what everybody thinks. I'll say this: Flip Saunders has come in, and you know what I think he is. He's a Type A guy, Patrick, and he can't coach. He's not the coach, so he's out. He's doing everything PR for this team.
Yeah.
He's all over the place because he just has so much energy.
Yeah, I'm not that optimistic because I don't think they can shoot. And the NBA is sort of like the NFL now. If it's 3-point shooting and lots of throw it around like the NFL throws it around. If you don't have the quarterback, I don't think they can shoot. Love's back; that'll help them some shooting, but
But they picked up a good 3-point shooter. Martin.
yeah. Well, Louis, you play him one-on-one, you get 35.
Good. I could
He's the
never do
worst-
that in anybody
worst
else.
defensive player in the NBA. He's awful. He pays no attention to it. I would have taken O.J. Mayo. over
Last
him.
year, they started off pretty good, and they don't have the team they have this year. Last year, the first month or two in the season, everybody was healthy.
Well, Rubio
They-
didn't start
they
playing
played
until
well.
December.
Huh?
Rubio didn't start playing until December, and actually, he was a non-factor.
What are you going to do?
He's not
What are you
hurt.
going to do with Rubio if he can't make a shot? There, at some
Patrick,
point, you got
I
to make
know
a
what
shot.
you're saying.
At some point, you got to make a shot.
Now, there's this theory that all he has to do is go in the gym and shoot, and he'll become a good shooter.
No.
Apparently, he hasn't done that, or he doesn't have whatever it is, the shooter's mentality. But that's what Flip says.
I don't know. It's like goal scorers, Louis. You can do it.
Yeah.
You can get better at it.
Yeah.
But
Guess
you can't
what?
get the instinct.
When we come back, we get to talk hockey, man. You've been waiting. I
thought you forgot about it.
Defending champs.
I thought he forgot about it.
We're back here
Leave it
Monday.
with us.
You're bailing out. You won't be.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Allery's, the original St. Paul sports bar, now with 65 beers on tap.
Stop on by Audi Minneapolis. Visit Bruce Bonine and Charlie and the whole group. They got it going on out there. Test drive one of those Q7s, and you will feel differently about the ride you can take to work every day. Welcome back. You've been waiting the whole time for this. The Minnesota Wild.
Minnesota Wild. They beat the Blackhawks last night.
Hey, they've won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Had offense last night. You were very concerned about goal scoring this year. Last night they got goal scoring. What was the difference in your mind?
I don't know. They got some pretty good new players, I guess. Here's a hockey man. Don't ask me about it.
You said
I know as much about hockey as you do.
I know, but you told me that the rule of this show is each section I'm supposed to ask you the first question.
Let me ask Louis a question. The New York Islanders aren't. Who's running that operation? Garth Snow. Still there?
Oh, yeah.
Why, in God's name, did he give up a Niederreiter at age 21?
I said that I can't figure that out. I
didn't know at the time. I figured there had to be a reason, but I can't see a reason.
Well, sometimes you think you got a lot of good youngsters, which they do have some real good youngsters. But I don't know why, especially when he was such a high pick and he was still so young.
Well, he's a monster.
Yeah.
He's huge, and he skates like the wind.
Niederreiter.
Niederreiter.
So what's going on? Give me the Wild. We saw a terrible road trip, and they come back and win 3. What do we got?
Well, the one thing they're doing, first and foremost, is they're limiting the chances that they give up until last night. Last night, Chicago finally got 36 shots. Before that, they were always giving up 20 or less, and they were playing really well defensively. So when you're playing real good defensively and you're getting good goaltending, then you don't need as many goals to win. So they were hanging in every game. They were having trouble scoring, but now every now and then they bounce back and get a few. And I think what I really like, and I've liked it for the last couple of weeks, is Granlund playing with Pominville. Granlund can make plays, and he did it again last night. 2 great setups. Pominville gets 2 goals. You know, everybody last year, they talk about Granlund, and he had to get stronger in that. But you still got to be able to play with people that can put the puck in the net. Now Granlund's got somebody to put the puck in the net.
Are you saying Neil Bratton was stifled when he was playing with Stewie Gavin and Gaetan Duchesne?
Yeah, how'd you come up with that line?
I wasn't there at the time. I wasn't there at that time.
But there's new stats in every sport now. Baseball started it. Everybody's got them. I don't think football's got them quite as much. But in the new hockey stat is puck possession, how much you got the puck. And they played the Blackhawks last year and got beaten 5 games because Blackhawks had the puck all the time. Now these guys got the puck all the time.
Well, I don't know why they need stats to tell you.
Yeah, right.
Who's got the puck? I mean, that's the way the game should be played.
Yes.
That's the way the game. Winning teams always
play
it. Yeah. Yeah. What happened was too many of these teams thought that they'd get caught with traps and turnovers, and they were afraid to handle the puck. So when they get it, they get the red line, throw it in, and then hope that the other team makes a mistake. That's an ugly way to play. It certainly isn't attractive for the fans. And if you play in a good team you're gonna keep giving them a puck, you're gonna lose because they're gonna put it in the net.
I was talking to a management person from another team that was watching the Wild, that's been watching them for a long time, and they said, Mike Yeo, because this is his 3rd year, you won't see as much panic in him, and he's more content. He's not as worried about scoring goals because he's got 3 good defensemen. What does the coach's tenor mean to a team?
Well, I think the coach, when he's more comfortable, his players are going to be more comfortable, and he's going to have more confidence in what they do, and you're going to see what Patrick just said. He's got confidence in them to handle the puck, not throw it in, not always have to forecheck, many times try and make a play, many times have puck possession so that the other team's not always in control. And he's got people now in the middle that can handle the puck. And when you got Koivu and Granlund and Brodzick's a good checker, you've got guys, and Pominville and Niederreiter, these guys can handle the puck. And you already had Priest, he was very good. So they got people that, you don't want to give the puck away when you got people who can do something when you got it.
Sidney, you want to add to that?
I don't want to add at all, but I feel Racey's such an expert. Were you at the game Saturday night?
It was in Chicago.
In Chicago. I'll be there tomorrow night. Are you going to join me?
You going tomorrow night?
I'm going tomorrow night.
No. You should go, Sid. It's downtown St. Paul.
Yeah. You take 94.
Listen, once they get that train down there, people will actually go to the games.
Not until then, no. Back after this. Taste of the Vikings, there it is, $150, and you're going to meet them all, and it's a great night with Wayne Kostrowski and his group. Mark it down November 11th. Patrick, what did you think of the obstruction call in the World Series game?
That was an absolutely 100% accurate call. I was laying in bed watching it with 3 TVs under me and said, they're not going to call this guy out. He's the baseline. It's not that little straight line, ladies and gentlemen. It's 3 feet on either side, plus the runner can establish his own baseline. Yes, Will Middlebrooks was in the baseline and tripped the guy, and and now, but if Craig had stopped, then they don't send him home. He had to make the effort to
go home
to score, and then it becomes
Jim Joyce again right there.
Yeah, but he was on it.
But the guy had his legs up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he that was intentional.
Yeah, everybody from Boston's mad at the umpires. Why aren't you mad at the idiot catcher who threw a ball to third base when he didn't have a chance to get the guy anyway,
Correct.
and then threw it wild?
Sidney?
I have no comment. These are the 2 extras on baseball.
So you're just a basketball guy.
I haven't
then.
got a word in yet. So
Okay, what do you want to talk about that we haven't talked about?
I wanted to talk about the Vikings are going to upset Green Bay tonight.
As we speak, they could be doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
I just
little
think the
secret. We taped this before the Viking
Packers
game.
are really up. They're hurt, boy.
Well, I hope you're right, because if
They're
not,
beat up.
somebody's watching this.
And I
it's-
just hope that Ponder has the biggest day of his life so he can stick it up a lot of people who've been really on him.
Including, by the way, Rick
He's got a
Spielman.
team
Including, by the way,
that
Rick
has
Spielman.
no defense, and it's all Ponder's fault.
Said, including Rick Spielman, who brought in Josh Freeman. He got on him pretty good, too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just outside forces on Ponder. It was internal.
Somebody told me, Louis, that Josh Freeman was there to sell seat licenses, because seat licenses is the big pot of money that they need right. That's the here and now, and they had to show that they were committed. True?
Yeah, and then they played him.
He hasn't called me
Then they
yet.
played him.
He hasn't called me yet, so I don't know.
All right,
I
Sidney.
saw Lester Bagley last night at J.D. Hoyt's. He picked
felt
a
good
good
about the game?
restaurant to go. Yeah.
All right. Next week, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Spending a
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Call 1-866-CAMBRIA. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing. And Cuisine Concepts. Bar Abilene at Lagoon and Fremont in uptown Minneapolis. And Franklin Street Bakery at 11th and Franklin in South Minneapolis, just down from Mall of America Field. And Taste of the NFL. Proud to be the premier Super Bowl party with a purpose to support hunger relief locally and nationally.